The Galactic Council had been very clear in Article 47B of the Human Integration Treaty: no Earth fauna beyond the species boundary. The reasoning was sound, they claimed: unpredictable biology, potential contamination, unnecessary emotional attachments that clouded judgment. Humans, as the newest members of the galactic community, had little choice but to agree. 8-year-old Maya Chen hadn't read the treaty. She'd only known that Raja was dying, and the veterinarians on Earth had given up hope. The massive Siberian tiger, rescued as a cub from poachers, had become her closest companion during her father's research expeditions to the Himalayan preserve. When Dr. Chen received his assignment to the Kepler station, humanity's first permanent off-world research facility, Maya faced an impossible choice. So she made the only choice an 8-year-old could make. She hid him. The cargo bay of the Meridian was vast enough to conceal a small ship, let alone a sedated tiger in a modified biopod. Maya had reprogrammed the pod's identification tags with skills learned from watching her father's research team. To the ship's scanners, Raja appeared as medical equipment, specifically a portable surgical unit with biological components. 3 months into their journey to Kepler Station, Raja woke up. Commander Zethkar was reviewing supply manifests when the screaming started. The Veltar officer's mandibles clicked in annoyance as he tapped his comm unit. "Security to Cargo Bay 7, investigate disturbance." But when the security team's panicked voices crackled through the intercom, "Commander, you need to see this." Zethkar felt his chitinous plates shift with unease. He found them in a standoff. 6 armed security officers, plasma rifles trained on what appeared to be a massive orange and black predator. The creature sat calmly beside a small human child who was stroking its enormous head with tiny hands. "Hello, Commander Zethkar," Maya said politely, as if she were introducing a friend at a playground rather than a 400-pound apex predator. "This is Raja. He's very friendly, but he doesn't like loud noises. The tiger for..." That's what Zethkar's biological database identified it as, regarded. The assembled aliens with golden eyes that held an intelligence that made the commander's breath catch in his throat. "Miss Chen," Zethkar said carefully, his translator struggling with the concept of speaking calmly to a child, while a predator capable of killing him in seconds sat 3 meters away. "This creature is forbidden by treaty. It must be destroyed," finished Counselor Vexhai as she materialized through the cargo bay doors. The reptilian diplomat's scales shifted to a deep purple, the color of absolute authority. Article 47B is clear. No exceptions. Maya looked up at the towering alien, her small face set with a determination that reminded Zethkar uncomfortably of human soldiers he'd served with. "Raja is sick," she said simply. "He needs help." "The treaty," Vexhai began. "The treaty is stupid," Maya interrupted, and several security officers flinched. No one interrupted a council member, ever. "Raja never hurt anybody. He protects things, watch." She reached into her pack and pulled out a small injured bird, a sparrow that had somehow made its way aboard during loading. It chirped weakly, one wing bent at an unnatural angle. Maya placed the bird directly in front of Raja's massive paws. The cargo bay fell silent except for the hum of life support systems. Every weapon remained trained on the tiger, every finger poised on triggers. Vexhai's scales darkened further. Raja lowered his great head and with infinite gentleness nuzzled the tiny bird. His rough tongue, designed to strip meat from bone, carefully cleaned the sparrow's feathers. When the bird tried to flutter away on its broken wing, the tiger carefully curved his body around it, creating a protective barrier while never restricting its movement. "On my world," Maya said, her voice carrying the simple wisdom that only children possess, "we have a saying. The measure of a civilization is how it treats its most vulnerable. Raja understands this. Do you?" Counselor Vexhai stared at the scene before her. In her 3 centuries of life, she had seen countless species demonstrate their worth through technology, warfare, or diplomacy. She had never seen power choose restraint so completely. "The treaty exists," she said slowly, "because we believed humans formed irrational emotional bonds that compromised judgment." "And what judgment would you have us make here, Counselor?" Dr. Chen had arrived, his face pale but his voice steady. "My daughter has shown you something we tried to explain in our integration hearings, that strength and compassion aren't opposing forces." Zethkar found himself lowering his sidearm. His mandibles clicked in what humans might recognize as wonder. "Commander," one of his officers whispered, The regulations are clear. Sometimes, Zethkar said, watching as Raja gently encouraged the injured sparrow to drink from a small water dispenser Maya had rigged. Regulations fail to account for wisdom. Counselor Vexhi's scales slowly shifted to amber, the color of deep thought. She had spent decades crafting treaties designed to prevent chaos, to maintain order across 1,000 worlds. But here, in this cargo bay, she witnessed something that no treaty could codify. The choice to be gentle when gentleness served no purpose except kindness itself. Article 47B, she said finally, will require revision. Maya looked up from where she was carefully bandaging the sparrow's wing with supplies from her pack. Does that mean Raja can stay? It means, Vexhi replied, her scales shifting to the pale blue of humility, that perhaps the council has something to learn about the true measure of civilization. 6 months later, the Kepler Station Veterinary Bay had its first non-human patient who wasn't a crew member. Raja recovered fully from his earthbound illness, and somehow, word spread throughout the galaxy about the human child who had taught a council member that mercy wasn't weakness, it was evolution. The revised treaty had a new article. Intelligence shall be measured not by the capacity to destroy, but by the wisdom to protect. Maya called it the Raja Clause. The tiger, for his part, continued to guard injured birds and somehow managed to look appropriately solemn during council sessions, though Maya suspected he was mostly just napping. After all, mercy was exhausting work.